Hey, good morning. A couple of funny things here in Granada. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is always, I can tell you, they're great places to be. I'm very fortunate. But you reflect, it's funny here because it feels like I've been, you know that feeling when you get up at 5 in the morning? It's 8:30 and it's like dead. It's like that 5 in the morning feeling. And the other thing is, tourists are such sheep. This area right now here, it's 8:30 in the morning, will be absolutely rammed, at midday. But right now you can come up here and basically you're on your own. Okay, so why am I taking you here? Well, this is the famous Mirador, which is the view of the famous Alhambra, and we'll talk about that in a second. But what we're looking at here is dawn from the Mirador towards the Alhambra on what could be a rainy day in Granada. One really concerning thing here is that this is such a historic area that the temperatures now reach 45 degrees. It's very hot, the hottest part of Spain, and temperatures hit 45 degrees here regularly during summer. My guide yesterday was saying that, oh my goodness, look at that over there. Can you see that back there? Historically, he said it was a bad day when it hit 40, and now it regularly hits 45, and the thing is, it's going to get worse. I said to him the old line that in the battle between humans and the environment's going to win. And I know how much he enjoyed that line, but it's clear that there's a temperature problem. Now, having said that, you wouldn't know it from this place because it's thriving, a lot of it based on tourism. But also, this has been an important place for thousands and thousands of years. And in fact, where I'm standing is older than the Alhambra, which is, built over the course of really the Muslim invasion of Spain and control of Spain, which started in the year 700 and essentially lasted to the year 1500. And that's what's so remarkable about the Alhambra, is that through all of the incredible history, it's survived. And the big building that you see over there, that's the castle. And then the big building that you see on the other side of that tree, that building is the stunning palace that was built by the Muslim leader. I'm going to get I can't remember, he's not a sultan, but you get the idea. That palace incredibly has survived and is just absolutely stunning. It's the one, as I say, that's just by that tree. And of course, it's been a superb time to be here. It's an odd time to be here, obviously, during results. It's also peak tourist season, which isn't a great time to be here. But there is no really non-touristy time to come to this place. But it's been an incredible time to be here and consider the arc of history in the context of the US election. Because of course, political arguments, Game of Thrones episodes are set here. Here you're talking about the Romans. We were in Cordoba. The importance of rivers and trade. Cordoba was the richest city in the world. The guys that I haven't really thought a lot about are the Visigoths. And the Visigoths had a big role. That's where you get Gothic from. Who knew that? The Flying Buttress. I should have, but I didn't. And then, of course, from the Visigoths, you had the Muslim rule. And in amongst all that was a tremendous, call it war as well as peace between Jews, Muslims, Christians, which at times under Muslim rule was interesting because Christianity and Judaism were tolerated. And the art and the culture and the science that came out of it was absolutely staggering. One of the interesting things to consider is, why did Islam stop leading science? And it's not unrelated to the end of the Islamic rule here. And then it becomes a philosophical debate about whether Islam essentially pursued God as the answer to everything and stopped their absolute leadership of I can't zoom in, but I can tell you that's a good looking view. Their absolute leadership in science. And above all, the palace is so beautiful. And what's crazy about it is that thanks to Isabel of Spain, a great historical figure in Spain, she actually ordered that it be saved. You actually have Catholic icons next to Arabic writing praising Allah at the entrance to the Alhambra. So there's an Islamic phrase, a lot of Islamic art and, you know, calligraphy, and then above it a statue of the Virgin Mary. And to see that is absolutely, you know, remarkable. Okay, briefly on oil. You know, I was just looking at a chart, the breakdown of the XLE, the oil ETF versus, it seems ridiculous to talk about this here, and don't even start me on all my conclusions about the current US election as a result of what I've been thinking about with the arc of history here. I think we'll avoid it. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. But just on the oils, the breakdown of the XLE, which is the performance of the oil stocks, the representative exchange traded fund of oil stocks in the S&P. For those of you who are beginners, oil stocks have been underperforming oil the commodity, which is not unusual. I tend to think of the oil stocks as better discounters of the future oil price. Look at this, there's a pride has showed up. So the market is telling you, probably rightly, that the oil price is going to go down. But interestingly, of course, if the oil stocks get too weak against the oil price, they have to go back up again. And at the moment, the spread is pretty wide to the downside. Very interested in the dollar breakdown. We had talked, and we have done on these videos, about dollar being positively correlated to oil. And that was a post-Ukraine invasion thing. And now it's, over the past, let's say, month or so, it's gone very much back to inversely correlated, which is kind of fascinating. I've nailed it on the view here, guys. Results, pretty disappointing. I mean, I was joking about Liberty, the oilfield services company, started the oil service results, and it was like a Mets joke, you know, from Family Guy, where Stewie goes to the Mets game and it's like, and it's the opening pitch of the season, talk, and the season's over. And Liberty kind of actually, we think it's the worst result we've seen against expectations, but the best that we've seen has actually been Baker Hughes. Baker is really hot at the moment, and we had the IR, Chase Mulvihill, on our call this week. And he's doing a terrific job, as is Baker Hughes, of, you know, turning what has been a pretty mixed up story over the years into a really powerful story. And over the past couple of months, at times, I've said the only show in town is ExxonMobil. Right now, a client came back to me and said, you know, the only show in town is Baker Hughes, which was interesting. And of course, there's, through the turbines, there's a AI angle there, which isn't reflected in the way that it is from companies like GE Vernova, which, you know, Baker Hughes was formerly very much tied up with GE. So there's a definite read through that if people want to buy the next thing in AI that hasn't gone up a ton, it could be, I think it will be Baker Hughes. So we're liking that one. Valero was okay. A lot of questions about California, which are more helpful for the company in dealing with California than they are for the stock. But not too bad on Valero. And, you know, as we've said, we think refining margins are bottoming. And so I don't know if we love refining before January, but Valero was kind of okay. And such a good management, such a good company. What else was interesting? E&I had good results. I think really the highlight's been Baker Hughes. And, you know, what the hell am I doing in Granada when I should be covering results? Well, we're thematic researchers, right? We don't have to worry about doing what 20 other investment banks do, which is try and immediately say, you know, Baker Hughes beat, and then write a note explaining that the EBITDA was better than expected. We can stand back a little bit. Thankfully, it's a fortunate position to be, because believe me, I used to do that job. I once covered 13 results in a single day and wrote a note for each one. And it's a lot of noise, but if you're at a big bank, you got a trading desk, you got a market maker, the guy's got to immediately start trading the stock after the results, and it's just part of the job. And as fortunate as I am to be here, I'm fortunate that I don't have to worry too much about the noise of results. I wish I could zoom in for you because it's truly remarkable. But again, the key room is over there, and it's just Google it. It's the third palace at the Alhambra, and the interior is a tremendous tribute to Islam, and a truly beautiful thing. Have a great day.